The following program contains explicit American history. If you suffer from stupidity, Randall may not be right for you. Check with your revisionist historian.
Proclaiming the truth in the highways and byways of the world. Fighting for justice in the dark alleys of politics. Raising the voice of resistance to a fevered pitch. The host who has no equal. He uses sweet and low. Randall Terry.
Thank you, you're very kind. Oh yes, I'm an extremist for truth, justice, and life, baby. Oh, I love you, and I'm so glad you came to be with me today. Oh my goodness, what a show. It's so great to be back in studio. Today's top stories. President Obama skips the 100-year anniversary of the Boy Scouts. And the Lieutenant Governor of Tennessee says that Islam may be a cult. And I don't remember the third news item. Oh yeah, the Massachusetts legislature has said that they're going to defy the Constitution and rule the world. Today's program brought to you in part by the Boy Scouts of America, teaching America's sons to ignore America's president. And by Hamas, the Islamic version of Boy Scouts, where they teach young men to kill Christians and Jews for the glory of God. I'm going to be right back after a quick word from my friend, Scurvy the Pirate.
Ahoy, matey. Ahoy. I'm still waiting for me check from British Petroleum. But I'll tell you while I'm waiting, the Obama administration's taken this one step too far. They're liars. They're thieves. They're cutthroats, every one of them. I've seen more honor on men on a pirate ship than I've seen from this Obama administration. You better choose, folks. Either you got pirates that you know and you can trust, or you've got these criminals up in D.C. telling you what to do.
Welcome to the program, friend. Oh, I feel so good just being back in my studio. What a long trip it's been. Let me say something to my so-called pro-life leader friends, who are neither pro-life nor are they leaders. We just spent, as you know, 11 days on the road, 13 cities, reaching hundreds of thousands. At this point, probably with the media that we got over the weekend, probably in the millions of people seeing our message, calling on Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and Jeff Sessions and Lindsey Graham to filibuster Kagan. The burning, beating, and hanging in effigy of Lindsey Graham is creating quite a stir in the media and blog world, which is exactly what we set out to do. I am, of course, being called a terrorist, psychotic, all kinds of pejoratives. I eat that stuff for breakfast, okay? Please insult me. It makes me feel stronger. But I want to say something to so-called pro-life leaders. Our fight is to end child killing. By the way, for those of you who are not pro-life or those of you who are suffering because you killed a baby in the past, no condemnation for you. May the mercy of God be your portion. Those of you who believe in killing children, may the light switch go on in your head and may you stop wanting to kill our offspring. But because you've got to be taking these if you believe in killing your own offspring. The pro-life leaders say that we need to overturn Roe versus Wade. They say that we need to restore the full protection of law to unborn babies. I agree with all that. Here's the issue. The fight right now is to get the Supreme Court so that there's a 5-4 majority so that states can outlaw child killing one state at a time, all right? And someday we're going to have a federal law passed that bans child killing in all 50 states. That means when someone like Sotomayor or like Kagan is put up for nomination, it is the duty of people who are the defenders of the babies to, and I know this sounds crazy, to defend the babies. Yeah. That means that we stand up and we say, no, filibuster her. We hold people like Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell and Jeff Sessions and all these other so-called pro-life Republican senators, we hold them accountable. And we just traveled, I don't know, a little over 2,000 miles and reached, as I said, millions of people with the message. And then you've got pro-life leaders here in D.C. and in cities around the country sucking the financial lifeblood out of Christians who are throwing money at them, saying, oh, we'll fight abortion for you and send us money. What do they do with your money? What are they doing? Stop, think about it. What are they doing? They're raising money so that they can send out press releases and they can sit in front of their computer and they can raise more money. It's a scam. Now, I'm not one usually to use other people's lines, and it pains me to say this, but the crazy Indian hippie, Andrew Beecham, yes, the man who's camera switching right now. Watch this. Ready, Andrew? Andrew is the one that switches back and forth from camera to camera. Andrew came up with the line that I'm going to use. I'm going to steal it, Andrew. I'm telling you right now, this is the only time I'm going to give you credit. Okay, so just live with it, buddy, and be glad that I'm giving you credit even once. He calls them, and I quote, pro-life vampires, living off the blood of the babies. It's sick. It's sick. Think about it. They have these hot button issues like child killing, which is obviously the biggest crisis we're facing in this country, and they raise money from you, from pro-life people, and then they don't do anything. In the key fight that's happening right now, they're not fighting. So if you're giving money to somebody like that, to a group like that, my advice to you is take your money and flush it down the toilet, because it will do less harm in a sewer. Okay? Let's go to today's news. And by the way, I'll be back dealing with a young man named Stephen Ertl or Ertelt or Ardel. I don't even know what his name is. But the other thing I learned on this trip, and we'll deal with it in another show, is, get this, that the secular press has more integrity than the so-called pro-life press. Yeah, the secular press accurately quotes us and covers what we're doing. And the pro-life press doesn't have the journalistic integrity to tell the truth. Stevie, you're on our radar, and we're going to come for you and use you as an example. Let's go to the news. President Obama is skipping the 100-year anniversary of the Boy Scouts. He's not going to speak at their jamboree. Instead, he's going to do some Democratic fundraising and be on the television show, The View. The View? Where's my camera? Oh my gosh, my camera's missing! Ladies and gentlemen, we regret to inform you that camera 3 was lost in battle. Yes, on this trip. We're not sure if it perished because of the salt water where we were shooting or because the cameraman, the crazy Indian hippie, spilled coffee on it. Or it could be multiple wounds, both salt and coffee. But we're going to go on with the show because camera 3 would have wanted it that way. All right, President Obama is doing America's sons a favor by not going to the jamboree. Hey, listen, where did that go? Because it's so cool. Listen to the Boy Scout oath. Duty to God and country. Can you imagine Obama standing there and talking about duty to God and country? It's actually laughable. Duty to other people. Yeah, he was on the mean streets of Chicago. Yeah, he came up through as a community activist, but not a Boy Scout. And duty to self. Well, you know what? Obama's got that one down pat. Yes, he puts himself ahead of most people. His agenda, his glorious self. So the truth of the matter is that there are tens of thousands of moms and dads whose sons are at the Boy Scout Jamboree breathing a sigh of relief. Mabel, our boy ain't going to have to sit there and listen to that crazy president of ours. Thank you, Lord. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we'll go on to the news about the lieutenant governor of Kentucky who says that Tennessee, thank you, who says that Islam might be a cult. Ooh, sounds like fighting words. And we'll talk about Massachusetts, who is trying to be the tail that wags the dog. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, my mission with this program is to get inside your head, to be the philosophical arms dealer for the right-hand side of your brain, and to get you away from your television, and to get you out of cyberspace, and to get you out of the cyber ghetto into real battle, so that we can get this country back into the hands of righteous men and women. I'll be right back.
People who say they're atheists are really stupid. If they live their life by that principle, they leave no room for error.
Moments with Moses. If you will not obey the voice of the Lord your God, or be careful to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command you this day, then all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you.
Welcome back to the program, friend. Coming up in the next segment, a song. For those of you who like my piano playing and singing, you're not going to be disappointed. You're going to want to watch it. It's for you Republicans. Yeah, the ones that treat us like we're your mistress. All right. Before we go to the other news, I just had to say one more thing about President Obama and the Boy Scouts. Listen to this list of what a Boy Scout is. Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty. Thrifty, 1.47 trillion in debt. That's funny. Brave, clean, and reverent. Ooh, for the Lord our God. I don't think so, President Obama. So here's what this is all about. He skipped the jamboree because the Boy Scouts fought against having to include homosexuals and homosexual scoutmasters. You remember that whole hubbub? Right? Obama is a lunatic supporter of the homosexual agenda. So he could not go. It would have been a lose-lose for him. If he went, the right wing would have been saying, why is he there? He stands for what we stand against. He stands, it's conflict. And the left would have said, why is he going there? This is hypocrisy. The Scouts have denied equal rights for homosexuals, blah, blah, blah. So instead, he wants to go be on The View. It's kind of cute, isn't it? All right, to the news. Lieutenant Governor of Tennessee, Ron Ramsey said, and I quote, now you could even argue whether being a Muslim is actually a religion, or is it a nationality, a way of life, or cult, whatever you want to call it. We do protect our religions, but at the same time, this is something that we are going to have to face. I repeat, he said that Islam might be a cult. Oh, cult! Camera 3, I miss you. It's happening. I can't keep going there. A cult. Well, first of all, thank you, Lieutenant Governor Ramsey, for having the guts to say something about Islam. And guess what, people? Listen to me. It plays well in Tennessee. It plays well in the South. It plays well in most places except for in the brains of people inside the New York, D.C. corridor who are so politically correct and so open-minded that their brains leak out. If you think that Islam is not a threat to Western civilization, to our values, to our freedoms, just go to Constantinople. Huh? Just take a visit. Go to, well, we call it Istanbul now. Check out the Middle East. Go over there. Ladies, see what it would be like to live in Saudi Arabia or in Pakistan or in Egypt. You who are Christians and Jews, you want to see what it's like to live under the iron heel of an Islamic caliph or Sharia law or the traditions of the Prophet? Go, take a big drink and see if that's what you want. So God bless Lieutenant Governor. By the way, it is not a cult. It might be a military blueprint for the subjugation of the earth, but it's not a cult. All right, on to other news. Finally, what is our other news? Oh, we've got to talk about Massachusetts. Massachusetts passed a law that its 12 electoral votes are going to go to the winner of the popular vote in a presidential election. Now, for those of you who don't know the rules, the president is elected with votes from each state, but then each state has electoral votes. The Electoral College ultimately elects the president. That's what our Constitution says. It's a brilliant system. Now, it has resulted a few times in people who did not win the popular vote becoming president. George Bush in 2000, Abraham Lincoln in 1860, our fourth president, John Quincy Adams, they didn't have the popular vote. So what Massachusetts is doing, and it's vintage Massachusetts, by the way, is they're trying to be the tail that wags the dog. Yeah, to hell with the Constitution. That's what they're saying. And they're also doing what they did with marriage. When they passed the bill to give homosexual marriage, they knew that the Commerce Clause of the United States was going to be that it would put the other states in a crisis. Do we recognize Massachusetts homosexual marriages or not? They are trying to be the tail that wags the dog again, and the rest of us need to tell them, go to the hot place, my friends. Huh? You and Teddy Kennedy and John Kerry and the rest of you lunatic fringe people in Massachusetts, hopefully very quickly a federal court will say to them, bye-bye, that law doesn't work. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, a song to the GOP. It's heartfelt, I swear it. Just give me a pretty red dress and you can use me any way you want. To say things and do things that you might not be able to do. Keep your hands on the wheel, Randall. Yes, sir. All right.
Only one link in the chain of destiny can be handled at a time. Sir Winston Churchill.
Welcome back to the program, friend. And now a song I wrote in honor of people like Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham. Oh, Lindsey, what you do to me. Blah.
You told me that you loved me like no other. Said you would take me home to meet your mother. You sang me love songs. I turned my back and you were gone. I thought, what did I do? Sat there waiting for you. Thought we could fix whatever went wrong. GOP, what did you do to me? GOP, was blind but now I see. GOP, you were using me all along. You said you needed me so we could get to power. I gave you my time and money, and you brought me flowers. I finally gave you my vote. Baby, that was all she wrote. You won't return my calls, won't do nothing at all. I was part of your wild oats. GOP, now I know what it means. GOP, was blind but now I see. GOP, you were using me all along. Then I started wondering, what does GOP mean? Gathering of peacocks, galloping old pompous windbags, growth on a porcupine, girdle on a pantomime. Good old power-hungry granddaddies on Prozac, godless old pusillanimous sacks. GOP, that's what you mean to me. And baby, I'ma pay you back. Hello? Yeah, it's me. Who's this? Oh, hi. How have you been? I'm good, thanks. You need my help? Sure, yeah, no, I'm not busy. No, That old red dress you got me? Yeah, I still have it. Well, sure, I'll wear it, All right, okay, yeah. I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, I've missed you too. Bye, I'll be right over.
All right, I'm going to take a quick break, but I just want to say this. Lindsey, I know we had some rough days, but if you need me for your re-election, I'll help you because you say you're pro-life. You're a monster. Rot in the hot place. I'll be right back.
Both we and our fathers have sinned. We have committed iniquity. We have done wickedly.
Thomas Jefferson said, bodily decay is gloomy in prospect, but of all human contemplations, the most abhorrent is body without mind. Ooh, I think he just insulted us. Friends, If we have a good, strong, vigorous body, but we don't engage our mind, well, then we're kind of taking up space. Here's my encouragement to you. Go to terrycast.com. Tell your friends to go there too, by the way. And click on the button that says orders. It's not ordering something, it's marching orders. What you can do to have a protest and a demonstration and a press conference in your community about Elena Kagan. And you can be heard. Use your mind and fight for justice. See you tomorrow.